Posada, slow roller right side. Beckett picks it up, tags Posada, and the Florida Marlins are world champions.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 5 of the Battered Marlins Fans podcast. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Granada. Alongside me, we got 3 other Battered fans, and we got a lot to talk to. Great show for you on today. Let's see. We are 500 a month in. We had a great April. We swept the Cubs. No, I'm sorry, not the Cubs. Yes, we swept the Cubs.
Yeah,
it was the Cubs. And then we got swept by the Braves. It's up and down season. We're going to get into all of that and a lot more. But let me introduce all of my Battered fans. But before I do, we're going to get into something a little new every episode to start the episode. For those of you watching on YouTube, you'll be able to enjoy it. For those of you listening on audio, go ahead and click the YouTube links on Twitter so you can check it out. We are going to go ahead and start wearing a special crown on our head every episode. We're going to go ahead and see what everybody's rocking on the top of their head. And I guess I'll start. I am rocking a Coney Island Brooklyn Cyclone 4th of July hat. This is something that, I wear it, not necessarily proud of it since they're affiliated with the Mets. I am not a Mets fan. I dislike the Mets very much, but I am from Brooklyn. This was the only team that Brooklyn had before the Brooklyn Nets after the Brooklyn Dodgers left. So I am proud of the Brooklyn Cyclones, even though I don't mess with the Mets. And that is my hat. So to my right, your left, Callie. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing fantastic. Well, I watched the Marlins play this weekend, so not that great. But
the weekend was good.
Yeah, the week is what sucked.
Yeah, the week. Yeah, it's true. Me and Spazzy went to the Marlins game together last night. We were legitimately a magnet for home runs. It felt like every single one was coming our way. The first one that Ozuna hit was just we were sitting in the moment in the first row in left field, and it just went over us like right by the Budweiser bar, but whatever. But on my head today, I have a Beloy Sky Carp hat. So our high A affiliate. I made it a point this year that I want to get all the minor league hats. So, I wanted to get the Pensacola one first that had like the P that looks like the fish hooks because I thought that one looks really cool.
No, that one's dope, the one you got on.
Yeah, they didn't have that size, so I'm like, Brandon already told me I was going to get the Jacksonville one, as you guys can see, so I'm like, let me go high A. I almost went Jupiter Hammerheads, but I saw this one that's that royal teal alternate one with the Sky Carp actually in the water. I'm like, that's the one.
Yeah,
so that's what's on my head.
Yeah.
All right, Spazzy, what you got going on?
So usually I always go old school teal or something like that, but I found this bucket hat that I got maybe like 2 seasons ago from a dude hustling outside of Marlins Park. That's for like $10. So I bought like 3 hats from this dude, and it's actually good quality. It's a new logo, but it's a dope little bucket hat. I've been wearing it since I found it. So yeah, that's my little bucket hat.
Well, you like bucket hats though. Like I saw that you got the one over the weekend, didn't you?
I have so many of them, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of bucket hats, and this one was just $10 from a dude hustling. So
I wish I would have gone to the game where they had the reversible bucket hat that they were giving away because that hat.
Dude, well, I guess I'll just tell a quick story. So I got there. I thought that there was going to be nobody at the park because there was a tornado watch, and it was like an ugly day. And I was like, I'll just get there. There's going to be a ton of hats there, dude. There's lines to get in. Like it was a good crowd on Sunday, and I was offering people cash. I was offering people beers. I looked like a crackhead, and finally a nice couple they saw me and they're like, listen, just take one of ours. You're fine. Like you're clearly a fan. I was like, all right, thank you.
So that's awesome, man, because that hat looked awesome.
It is.
All right, and last but not least, my man Brenton. How are you and what you rocking?
I am doing fabulous. I got to fresh from the ballpark, just got home a little while ago. Not the result I wanted to see, but got to take my son to his first baseball game ever, so that was awesome.
Awesome.
Great memory, great moment. Follow me on Twitter for pictures. But we also were sitting in the section right next to that Soler bomb right there in the beginning of the game. So that was pretty cool to see. But today I'm rocking the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp hat. Team's off to a great start, and they're emulating the Major League affiliate. They're 14-14. So they're sitting right at 500 right now. I'm sure they're going to go down a little bit because we've robbed some talent from them this week, which I know we're going to talk about. But yeah,
we're going to get into that for sure later.
I will say also, going to the game yesterday, it was a teacher appreciation day, and they said on the email it said to go in the 5th inning for the tumbler because they're giving away tumblers. I'm like, I'm a teacher, I need a fucking tumbler. And then they said there was a sign that says, "Oh, come back in the 7th inning," and we're like, okay. So literally top of the 7th means Spazzy start walking over, and of course, teachers being fiends for free shit. The line was so long, but it was worth it. It was a cool little tumbler.
Oh, yeah. And before.
Oh, and Spazzy's teacher. Spazzy's an honorary teacher too, by the way.
Yeah. I made the line with him, and the lady just wanted to get rid of him. She's like, "You too, right?" And I'm like, "I'll take a fucking tumbler. I waste enough money on you guys. Yeah, give me a fucking tumbler.
Give me the free shit."
So if you guys follow Battered Marlins on Twitter, we had Callie and Spaz out at the stadium looking for hats last night, and they couldn't find the 30th anniversary hat inside the stadium. They had to go outside the stadium to get it. I can confirm the first base and third base stores had every size in the new hat in stock on the shelf. So if you're going, obviously we're away now, but if you're going for the Red Series, check out the stores. They're there. Marlins listen to us.
when I was there yesterday, I went to each of the stores looking for them, and there was none. The only store that had some that I saw that were like close enough was the 7 3/4 on the store on the first base side. And I grabbed one, I tried it on, it was way too big. So I put it down, and this guy just stared at me, and he's like, "Are you going to take that?" I'm like, "No." And there was 3 left, and he grabbed all of them and just left.
Nice.
And thankfully I found some in the store. I was like,
yeah,
they're moving quick. Even when I went after the game, there was it was either 6 and 7, because I ended up grabbing one. It was either really small, really big, and then I found one that was 7.5, and I put it on. I'm like, okay, this is the one. This is perfect. So,
yeah, well, I can confirm they have plenty.
Well, I'm looking forward because I'm gonna get mine next week when I go next weekend to the Cincinnati series. But Cincinnati is next week. Let's go back to the month of April. We had a good month of April, a lot better than I think most of us expected. I think it's safe to say that we can beat just about anyone as long as they're not named the Braves or the Mets, because we are undefeated in series, except for against the Braves and the Mets. But that doesn't change the fact that the way the schedule's set up this year, we get to play everybody. So we get a lot less of the NL East, which means a lot more series to be won. What did you guys think of the month of May in general, and the fact that we're 10-0 in one-run games?
Well, today I think at one point we were like, we had like a 1-run game situation going on, and I was like, no, we're gonna fucking record.
Thank God Puck gave up the bomb, right?
Yes,
that's why he did it.
He did it exactly.
I mean, it's tough, and obviously I was hoping that today we would put a stop on the sweep, and we did not. But we're still at 500, and I think that's been the goal the entire time, right? And I mean, what was it, Callie? You said that they have 18 home runs or 16 or 18 home runs.
They said it on the broadcast today that the Braves have 18 home runs against us this season.
That's absurd.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fucking insane amount of home runs. And then fucking Ozuna decides to wake up out of nowhere, and, he loves playing in Miami, apparently, and he's just crushing the ball against us. So, whatever, it's the Braves. We've said it before on this. They're a tough team.
The key takeaway from the Braves series for any Marlins fan is Acuna got his payback last night for robbing a rise of the AL or the NL April Player of the Month award by getting struck out by Jacob Stallings.
Yeah,
struck out looking. So and after his show today, where he fouled the ball off his ankle, watching that live was just sad. Watching a guy just lay there, he missed his calling. He should play soccer. I felt like I was watching an Inter Miami game with a guy down, and then he finished the at bat.
But I heard it was loud. I heard, obviously Jeremy Taché, a huge Marlins fan, he said that from the press box it sounded like it hit him loud. So I'm not a big fan of Acuna. I don't care for
It
him.
looked bad on TV. I'll say that it didn't look great.
I didn't watch
If you
it.
finish in that bad, it's not that bad.
Hey man,
I concur.
All right.
I concur. All right. So speaking of the month of April, it went well, but I feel like Arise got snubbed for Player of the Month.
Absolutely.
Callie, what are your thoughts on him getting snubbed? Because I mean, when you look at the numbers, not many people had anywhere near the month that he had in April, including a cycle.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it just reinforces that award is just a popularity contest, because I don't know how you objectively look at the numbers and think that anyone on the planet hit better than Luis Arraez did in the month of April. And just, Ronnie Acuna's a name, and he's playing well too, but he's not hitting four. Well, what's our boy hitting right now? I just looked at it.
I think it was 425, so something in that area.
He's hitting 424 right now. I think
I
think in April he hit like 437. He's only struck out 5 times
all year.
He's drawn 11 walks, 12 RBI. His OPS is 1.17. Like, dude, and I understand that Acuna's very talented. He's on pace to hit like 40 bombs and like 79 stolen bases, and that's fine. But he did not have the month of April that Luis Arraez had. And I guess the only justification could be that Arraez got hurt and he missed a few games.
Yeah,
but
what I was gonna say.
Aside from that, it doesn't make any damn sense.
Spazzy, what did you think about the snub?
No, I thought the same thing as Callie. I think the biggest thing is that he missed those
The
few
popularity.
Games. Well, that as well, but he also had the cut on his finger that he missed a few games for, and then he had the knee that he had like a knee thing. He had a knock on the knee or something
for the
like
Braves.
That. So I think if he doesn't miss those games, he gets it. But at the same time, like Hattie said, it's a big popularity contest, and like we know we see him every fucking day. The dude is a stud, man. The guy just does not strike out. Like, let's not jinx him, but dude, he's such a joy to watch, and I'm so happy he's on our team. So I mean, he should have gotten it. It is what it is. Whatever.
Yeah, it's my opinion, it's total bullshit. He didn't win it, but I am the guy who's calling for that extension every day. Kim, you got to make it happen, please. I want to buy an Arise jersey. I need one, but he's got to sign the extension, and I'll go get one.
I wouldn't bet on him getting an extension anytime soon, to be quite honest with you.
I know
that's not how the Marlins do things.
You broke boy.
In fact,
right.
the Marlins status quo is actually going to be his value's never been higher, so now's the time to sell. So
don't say that.
I've seen this movie too many times.
I know it's true, but don't say it.
I mean, look, if you want to play that, he is on the money though. But at some point, you want to win. Like I don't care who you are, how much money you're trying to save. At some point, I think you want to win. No, like
yeah,
if you're an owner, right? You're staring. You're close. Now I get that you can get more prospects and high prospects if you trade them off right now. But at what point do you take these prospects and it's like, all right, let's try to win with them? Like it's an ever-changing cycle, and at some point you have to go for it. And I think this might be the year.
Yeah, and genuinely, I genuinely believe this. I think we're 2 bats away. I think we're 2 bats away from being a real competitor, because once Sandy and Luzardo find their form again, and the bullpen got beat up a little bit this series, but it's gonna happen. You're never gonna have a stretch of perfect last forever, but the pitching's there. Like we've seen that's proven already. But it does feel like we're missing a couple bats to really keep us competitive. So I think if you have a situation that like, fuck, maybe I can give up one of these guys in the pen or one of these prospects. We be the other guy. We give up the prospect for the bat. We were talking about a pre-show, but we're a game bat. If the season ended today, we're the first team out of the playoffs. We're nipping at the heels. We're 500 against all odds. We're 500, but we're 500.
And Sandy's not Sandying, and
that end, like we've had one of the toughest schedules to start the season. Like our schedule gets so much easier after this Braves series. Like, and we'll talk about it when we preview what's coming up in the next week. But like we have every opportunity to finish, the next month like well above 500 in my opinion, because I think we can win the rest of the series that we're looking at, and I just don't see if we're for real, like this month is gonna show us because we're gonna win and we're gonna be above 500 to finish the month of May.
Before we move forward to future series, I wanted to touch on the last two series. Now we started the weekend pretty strong, right? We got a sweep of the Cubs, but I felt like game number 2 was it had me thinking that we could be in trouble because it was weird. Edwin Cabrera ended up with 12 Ks. Pretty solid start, but he had 5 walks. And it's like he isn't the consistent pitcher we need him to be quite yet. We also scored 5 runs in the first inning, which I think gave him some comfort. But we ended up almost coughing up that game later on with the bullpen. So although we swept them, that side of the game had me a little uptight. What did you guys think of this series sweep against the Cubs? The first time we finally closed out a sweep.
So for me, I mean, I'll take wins when we can get them. I think I said when we were chatting about it that for you Bull Durham fans out there, Cabrera, Edward Cabrera is kind of our Epi Calvin Nuke Lelouch. I like every time I watch him pitch, I just think of that scene. It's like he walked 18, new league record. He also struck out 18, also new league record. So with Cabrera, I mean, the potential's there because striking out 12 guys in what do you throw 5 innings is hard to do.
Yeah,
and it's not just walking the 5 guys. It's every count was a deep count. Every single one. He wasn't having quick in. I think he had one decent inning, but aside from that, he had no control. And I also Stallings was catching that game, and I don't think he called a great game either. But
he only allowed 3 hits that game.
Yeah, but he also walked 5, and you can't. You're taking everyone deep counts. Like if we can cut the strikes, if he can cut the balls in half, like legitimately cut them in half, he's going to be one of the best pitchers in the league because the stuff is there, the velo's there, the off speed's there. It's just he can't spot it, which is more than half the battle. You can throw 120 and it doesn't matter if you're still walking the house. And it's not just the walks, it's untimely walks. You're walking in runs, you're walking guys into scoring position. Every single count's going into a full count. You can't do that. It's tough to win that way. And, this is a team that as good as the bullpen's been and as good as the pitching has been in general, like this is a league that's driven towards offense. So there's going to be days that we're just hit hard. We've seen that. We saw Nardi Nardi's been lit up the last couple, and I think he had a strong start to the year, and he's been lit up the last couple outings.
Nardi's given up that lead off, that first batter
like 3
home run,
times,
and then he settles down.
Yeah,
so we just need to bring him in with like a 3-run lead, and we're good.
in two games straight in that series, Cody Bellinger takes him deep on the first pitch.
Yeah,
both times. It's just it happens. It's part of the game. Like you're still playing against other professionals. And the Cubs, for all intents and purposes, are still a good hitting team. They don't have the bullpen, and they don't really have the pitching, and they don't have like that guy that's just gonna like take over a game and like do something. Like Swanson, I guess, can maybe be that guy. Horner's playing really well too, but they don't have like a guy like un caballo that's gonna go out there. It's like, okay, I'm gonna hit the ball in the gap now, or I'm gonna go shut shit down the bump now. They don't have that. And but Rossi's a good coach, and I'm sure they'll figure it out, and it's gonna be tough to go over there now. But as far as that series goes, I mean, first game and last game, I thought we played pretty well. Every single one was a 1-run game, which is interesting. But with the Cubbies, like I was happy for the most part. I was much less satisfied with this Brave series. I was very happy to see that Quesada got DFA'd because that guy's a bum.
Well, Spazzy, you said we just can't seem to close out these sweeps. We closed out a sweep. How are you feeling about that Cup series before we jump over to the Braves?
So one quick thing that I will say is that what was the game that we were watching on Thursday? Well, it was the Braves game that when we recorded last week, right?
Oh yeah, the comeback.
So I did want to touch on that just because we had our boy Peter Pratt on, and we're all like, all 5 of us are like in the dumps. And then like afterwards, we're finished the podcast and we come back and win and avoid the sweep. So I just want to say, I think it was some good luck with Peter Pan on the podcast, us drinking wine. I don't know, but we stopped the sweep there. But going on to the other series, dude, the 1-run game thing is kind of crazy that we all, all of them were 1-run games. I was super ecstatic to get that sweep. I know that our boy Peter said that we were going to sweep the Braves. It went the other way around. We got we got swept by the fucking Braves. But whatever, dude. Like a broken record, dude. We're fucking 500, and I'm okay where we're at.
For the most part, we all predicted to go 3-3 in the next 6, right? We thought that we would get the first 2 against the Cubs. I think just about all of us said that, and that we would fail to close out the sweep, and then we would get 1 from the Braves. We ended up sweeping the Cubs. We got swept by the Braves, but all that really matters is that we went 3-3 like we all thought. We're still 500, and we're second in the division because the Mets just got swept by Detroit also. So we're still in pretty good standing. So all in all, I think it was a decent weekend. But now let's get on to the fun series against the Braves.
Do we have to?
We have to talk about Sandy. Like, we have to talk about Sandy. Sandy's had, let me not say just one good start, because he had a solid start against the Braves, but then the bullpen ended up giving up that lead at some point in the game. But for the most part, it's been one outstanding Sandy game, one solid game, and the rest is kind of like, what the hell is going on? So I ask you, I'll start with Bratton. What the hell is going on?
You're always asking me if I'm panicking about Sandy, and
that's why
not.
I go straight to you. Okay.
I know. And so, listen, when Sandy's coming off a Cy Young year, so basically whatever he's going to do is going to be a disappointment this year. Let's be honest, because he had such a great year last year. But I'm still not worried about him. I think he still has some stuff to work through. His problem still is constantly that keeping the ball up in the strike zone. He gets to a point and he just like, I don't know. I don't know if he's feeling the pressure of having to do it, because I feel like he doesn't get run support too. Like, if you gave him, like Edward Cabrera, we just talked about, had a 5-run first inning. If we gave a 5-run first run inning to Sandy, I bet you he keeps it all the way through, and he probably throws a complete game. Like, I don't feel like he's getting the run support, and I feel like maybe he's trying to carry it all on himself. Like, there's a lot of pressure on Sandy to win games right now. And so
there is.
Yeah.
But at some point, don't you feel like we're overachieving? Because, Callie and I were talking about it before we got started about the run differential. I like Callie get into that in a second, because I know he has the numbers. But at some point, I feel like we're overachieving, because we are doing all this, and it's not like we're doing a lot, right? We're 500, but we're at 500 despite our aces not playing like aces. But at some point, every team needs their aces to show up eventually. At some point, we can't keep counting on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and in our case, 6th, 7th, and 8th guys in the rotation because of injuries going out and giving us these wins, because at some point they're going to come back to earth also. So we need Sandy and Lizardo to also show up. So that has me a little worried. And Callie, I throw it over to you, because you did have these numbers of the run differential we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, before I even get into the run differential, I'm just going to go over Sandy's outing. It wasn't 5 innings pitched. He only gave up 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, but he gave up a bomb, and all three runs came in on timely hits. So there was a bit of bad luck. Like, if you really look at it, he wasn't like terrible. He just got hit hard at the wrong time, which the Braves are going to do that. So I don't want to make excuses for Sandy, because at the end of the day, you're the ace. You just want to Cy Young. Like, at some point, you need to show up and be better than the other guy. But the Braves are an anomaly right now in the sense that they are statistically the best hitting team in baseball, not called the Tampa Bay Rays right now. But in terms of the Marlins' success, and this was something we were talking about earlier. So the Marlins have the worst run differential in the National League, with a run differential of negative 52. All right, and we're 500 despite that. All right, we've scored 108. We've given up 160. Our expected win-loss total at this point is 10-22. So there's a huge discrepancy between our record and what we realistically, mathematically should be. The only teams that have a worse run differential than we do right now are the Kansas City Royals, who are 8-24 with a record of with a run differential of negative 65. The Chicago White Sox have a run differential of negative 66, and they're 10-22. And then, my God, the Oakland Athletics have a run differential of negative 125. They've scored 119, given up 244. They are 6-26. So that's the company we're keeping with in terms of our run production versus how much we're giving up. It's not good. Realistically, we have the record that we have because we are so good in one-run games.
Because of our bullpen.
Because of our bullpen, yes.
Because of our bullpen. That's why we have the record we have, because being 10-0, the 10 out of those 16 wins have come in one-run games. That's not necessarily a formula for success if you're 10 out of your 16 are literally just one-run games.
And if you really look at it, can you name a game where the bullpen really blew the lead? Because there hasn't really happened.
I mean, the game that we were talking about with the Braves.
Blow losses. Puck today. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but you're already, but we were already losing at that point. I'm saying, like, when does the pen come in?
The Sandy game the Sandy game in Atlanta. Where
there's a Luzardo game earlier in the season too, where he lost.
But not many. We've had.
No, it's not many.
I think statistically the best bullpen. I know last week it was statistically. I haven't looked this week.
Probably not this week.
And getting back to Sandy real quick. I don't want to say last year, a couple years ago, baseball started getting really heavy on analytics. And let me tell you something. I love analytics. I love numbers. I love stats. That's all. So I know people hate it. I love it. I love the numbers. But we stopped seeing players going out 7-8 innings, right? It's coming back now. But for a while, 2 times through the order and then call to the bullpen, no matter how well you were pitching, right? We don't see it as much anymore. That's died down a little bit. But there was a couple seasons where that was really heavy and everybody's getting really upset. Now, I think there's some truth to it, though. Now, let's see Sandy this year. Last year, the 3rd time through the order, they were hitting, on average, 239 hitting a percentage against them, batting average against them. This year, 3rd time through the order, 440.
Oof.
So, he's, like we were saying, as the game goes on, he's leaving his ball a lot higher up in the strike zone. I'm not sure why, but that number right there, that average 440, 3rd time through the order, that tells you a lot. So I mean, I'm all into analytics. I'm not saying that they got to start, sending Sandy back to the locker room after the 2nd time around, but there's something to it. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. There's something to it. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna touch because even last season, I mean, one of the biggest things about Sandy was that he just got stronger as the game went on. So like it was like the 3rd, the 4th, and he was just getting like stronger and better and stronger, and that's why he went so deep so many games, and that was like his thing, and he was just fucking crushing everyone. And to see either I hope not, either there's something wrong with him, they figured him out, or I mean. Mel has just got to work with him more. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm not concerned fully because he's still who he is, but dude, he's getting hit. Like you said, he's getting fucking hit hard. And I watched,
So to kind of I hate to make excuses for Sandy and the rest of the pitching staff, but if you look at
you don't. You've been doing it all year.
Well, so if you look at the strength of schedule, we have the 2nd hardest schedule to open the season. Like, we've played the Braves half of the amount of times that we're going to play them in a 10-game period. We're going to play them 13 times. We played them 7 times. We've gotten that out of the way.
Yep.
If we get out of the month of May and we're still asking this question about Sandy, then I'll hit the panic button because our schedule gets so much easier. If he can't get it done against the weaker teams, like if he doesn't go out against the Cubs or because I think he's going to pitch against the Reds too. If he doesn't go out against them and have solid outings and get deep into a game, then I think we can hit the panic button. But there's very few pitchers in the league that would get through the Braves and go unscathed, or get through. The Mets have a killer lineup. Their pitching is what's letting them down right now. But
Yeah.
So I don't think, I think it's too early to panic on Sandy. I think there's things to be concerned about, and your point about him not getting through the third round of the lineup is valid. But when that third round is against Braves hitters or Mets hitters or Phillies hitters minus Bryce Harper, like, that's a much harder lineup to get through than, let's say, the Reds third. Like, most of your stats are going to be against bottom teams. So if he can get it done against them, then I'm feeling a little more confident about it. But, that's something to look forward to, in my opinion.
We're going to revisit this real soon.
Listen, if he throws another complete game, then we can move this off of the talk sheet. Because I think he will. Look at what he's done against the bad teams in our opening so far. Those have been his two good starts.
I've wanted to not talk about Sandy, because if Sandy's playing well, you don't really have to talk about him too much. But every week I feel like we got to talk about Sandy, because I'm waiting for him to put on a show, and it just hasn't happened yet. And
it'll be May. Mark my words. Right. If I'm wrong,
you're still coming.
I will buy a Sandy jersey.
Oh God!
Oh, that'll show.
And if I'm right, I'll buy a Sandy jersey.
$1.25 in his, with $1.25 in his pocket. That'll show.
All right. Yeah. So, talking about players that have been underperforming, your boy Avi was injured, and Kylie's boy Smeltzer got DFA'd.
Oh no, so sad.
So, what does that mean? That means we have opportunities for the Young Bucks. So we got a couple people called up. Xavier Edwards called up. Peyton Burdick called up. What are we thinking about the Young Bucks finally getting an opportunity? And about, well, I'll start with Callie, because he loves Smeltzer so much. How do you feel about Smeltzer finally getting DFA'd?
I think I'm perfectly fine with that. Although he came in last night and he gave up another bomb because, death taxes and Smeltzer giving up moonshots. But he's just, I forgot who I was telling this to, but if Smeltzer was righty, he wouldn't. That guy'd be coaching high school baseball somewhere. Like he just doesn't have it, man. And it's whatever. Like he had a couple good outings, but there's been a lot more bad than good. I think it opens up the doors to give some of the younger guys a shot. We called up Quesada, and he was a disaster class too. I think there's one guy in the minors that I really think we need to give him a shot. He's a lefty like Smeltzer, but I know we'll save that for a little bit. But in terms of the other guys, I mean, Burdick didn't look bad. He got walked twice today, which is always a good thing. He's going to be good in the outfield. I think Burdick's going to be very, very good. I don't think there's a spot for him in the outfield right now with a fully healthy outfield, but I think we're probably a year or two away from him being like a regular guy on the big league club. And then Xavier Edwards, I've been really high on. I wish he got a few more opportunities this series, but he's a guy that I think he's going to turn out to be very, very, very good.
Well, my understanding is Xavier Edwards has been playing center field out in Jacksonville. So
yeah, he's an infielder by trade. But
right. But they've been playing him out in center field. So you don't think that he has a chance to play maybe on like a De La Cruz off day, or one of those giving Jazz an off day? I thought that he might play today.
But they gave Burdick the start though in the outfield, so it looks like they've defaulted to that. But Xavier Edwards fits kind of the mold of what the Marlins are looking for in terms of draft. Because if we really take a look at it, all the position players that the Marlins draft are either shortstops or catchers. And what they do is that they get these super athletic shortstops or center fielders that they know they can plug them anywhere. Like Jazz, perfect example. He's an infielder his whole life. They say, hey, you're an athlete, go get him.
Figure it out.
That's kind of been with the new ownership group. That's definitely been it feels like that's what's what they've done. They're just looking for straight up athletes that they can like, okay, yeah, you're a shortstop, but we're gonna put you in the outfield. We're gonna move you to first. We're gonna,
plug and
do
play.
things like that.
Plug and play.
Exactly, man. So I think Xavier Edwards kind of fits the mold of what the Marlins want, kind of a Swiss Army knife type of guy, and that's not a bad guy to have around.
Brian, were you excited about Xavier Edwards getting an opportunity? Because I was, but
yeah. I mean, anytime you bring up a young guy into the majors for the first time, the kid got his first hit the other night against the Braves, which is exciting. You're excited. You have to be excited for moves like that. I mean, I think Edwards probably slots in. I can see him playing more infield than outfield because, especially since Burdick got the start today. And Burdick, let me tell you, that man was swinging out of his shoes today. He was trying to hit a bomb like nobody's business. And like when you saw him like in the deck, like on deck, like getting ready to go into the box, like he was looking like he wants to hit one out of the park. So I'm excited to see more of him. Definitely excited to see more of Edwards. I'm a big fan when we call up prospects, and I like that these guys are getting their opportunity now. I mean, Burdick is 26. He's not really a prospect, but Edwards still is, being only 23. So I'm excited to see what he can do. They're going to give us an opportunity to probably rest some players that need a little bit of rest. I like to see Jazz get the break today. Hopefully we can start kind of giving some guys some days off and get them some swings in before inevitably they're probably going to get sent back down once we get healthier. And, we've got Wendell coming back and stuff like that. So these guys probably won't be with us very long, but as long as they're here, I say give them as many swings of the bat as we can. Like let's get them some experience and see what they can do.
Edwards is a local kid too, I believe. I think he's from Plantation. I want to say.
Yeah, he's a Broward boy. Sure is.
Yeah. Spaz, Xavier Edwards, Peyton Burdick, and
Xavier Howard, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
God, I hate the Dolphins.
Come on.
Which of those guys have you most excited? Because I didn't think, my issue. I'm sorry, Spaz, just real quick. My issue with Peyton Burdick is when I see somebody take this long to make it to the major leagues, something in me just doesn't excite me, because I'm like, maybe you could make it and you could be a decent player, but you're not going to be that guy, right? That guy that we're hoping that just randomly comes up from the minor leagues and just kind of just blows up. And that's not going to happen, because if it was going to happen, he wouldn't be 26 pushing 27 in the minor leagues. Go ahead, Spaz. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. My forte is not like knowing about our farm system and all that. I leave that to Cali and you guys. I'm just a guy. I'm just a fan out there drinking beer. But I've heard Burdick for like fucking ever. Like it's like, oh, we got this guy Burdick. We got this fucking guy Burdick. And going back to Cali, talking about Durham Bulls fans, this is fucking Kevin Costner, the guy who made it to the show. He's going back to.
I spent 21 days in the show once.
Yeah, exactly. This fucking Kevin Costner from fucking Durham Bull Durham.
I'm wearing that shirt today.
Yeah. So I love giving the guys that are down there come up, get the fucking experience. It's great. Sometimes we see some shit happen. Sometimes we don't. So, Avi's obviously going to come back and he's going to get his spot back. We're paying him too much money for that. I wish we would just cut our losses, but we're not going to. So, as long as they're here, I might support the boys, bro. Whatever. I hope good things happen. Who knows,
With Peyton Burdick, he's a D1. He was a college draft guy, played for 4 years. With college guys, especially the ones that are in college for 4 years, they get drafted. Like your window, because you get drafted at 22. With the COVID year, guys are getting drafted at 23 years old and stuff like that. Your window because when you look at it that way,
yeah,
okay, he was only in the minors 2.5, 3 years before he got called up, which is great. But now it's like, okay, you're 26 now, naturally the teams are going to give opportunities to guys, closer to 20 than 30. But I think Burdick can still be pretty good. Like I said, I think he's a year away from probably being like a good serviceable guy in the bigs. Like I think he's going to hit well. I think his game translates well. But I think the guys really need to be.
At least he's not like Drew Maggi from the Pirates.
That's
You saw
fun.
that he made his debut at 33. He played
Oh yeah, that was a cool
1,100 minor league games over 13 seasons and finally got his debut.
Yeah,
That was a cool moment.
If I was
It
that
really
guy, like
was.
if I was that guy, like after that game, like I get not one but 2 hits, like I'm just going home after that. Like I'm good, guys. Like well,
Hang on.
And the Pirates are
I'm-
playing
I'm-
good baseball too.
yeah,
But you know
like,
what? Something like that would have excited me more than seeing Peyton Burdick. Because I'm like, oh, this is a cool story. Peyton Burdick just like,
Seeing the way Burdick was like swinging out of his shoes and ready to make a hit, like I've got a good feeling like the next week
hope so.
he'll probably do something good. Like, listen, he's not going to stay up with the team forever. Like Spaz said, Avi's going to come back, and then Burdick's going to have to go down, or Edwards is going to have to go down. One of the two, and so we'll see.
wasn't Avi a back issue?
I think he's
I
only
think
on the
it's
10 or
10 days,
15 day DL
Yeah, I think
or
it's only a
IL.
10.
but what we
Coop.
saw from Burdick is kind of like it's what us coaches call like look at me swings, like kind of almost not desperation, but like it's very self aware. Like I need to do something to kind of earn my spot here, so I'm gonna go big, bro. Like I don't know how many more of these fucking at bats I'm gonna get. Let me try and do something.
that.
Yeah, bro,
I
fucking go
respect
for it.
it.
We're getting your
I
ass
respect
kicked,
it.
bro. We're getting your ass kicked by the Braves. Fucking swing for the fences, bro. Like
Listen.
make some magic, bro. And then
When I saw him
maybe stay for a little
swinging
while.
like that, I thought the player comparison that hit my mind was Cody Ross, because Cody Ross used to do that all the time.
Bro,
He would be ready to swing that bat. When he made his Marlins debut, that's how he was. Maybe he wasn't like that at the end, but when he made his debut, that's how he was.
Well, if you
So-
look at the ticker, I got 3 names. Oh, go ahead, Spaz.
No, I think we know who Burdick's number one fan is over here.
Oh no,
I'm
Brandon
not his
is-
number
is
one
a-
fan.
is a-
That's
is a
just
Burdick
what
fan
reminded me.
and a
I
Sandy
want
apologist.
someone to believe in me the way that Brand believes in
Yes,
Peyton Burdick.
Sandy and Sandy.
But yeah, and I see the name of the Tigger. I'm very excited
Yes.
about him, but there's also another minor league arm that I think we need
Okay.
to give a call
Well,
to.
There's
I'll let
several.
you.
Now,
There's
before you get
several
into
minor league arms.
that other arm, I do want to talk about Yuri Perez. A lot of people are hyped up about the way he's performing in Double A. My issue is that some people are asking for him to be moved up to the major leagues, but he's performing like this in Double A. I need you to perform like this in Triple A before I see you in the major leagues. That's one. And number two, my understanding is Double A is playing with a sticky ball. Like they're experimenting with another ball that has a lot more grip on it. So that grip has been helping a lot of the pitchers in Double A look a lot better than they are. So I want to see him in Triple A. Go play for the Jumbo Shrimps. Go ahead. I want to see you in Jacksonville, and then make your way down here. I don't want to see that jump from Double A up to the majors just to see what he's like. To me, that sounds like a bad move. What do you think, Callie?
So with Yuri, there's a couple things to consider, and the first thing I'm going to say before I even give my opinion is that someone asked Craig Mish, longtime Marlins beat writer, what's going to happen first? Trevor Rogers coming back from the IL or Yuri Perez making his big league debut? And he said Yuri making his big league debut. So I think that there might be something coming down the pike that happens sooner rather than later. Now, something that being said, all right, this is his second year. He's a repeating player in Double A. And despite it being his second year in Double A, he's still the youngest player in Double A. He's only 20 years old. He's a baby. I think developmentally, like you're in a position that you're dominating. If it were me, and again, I don't run a big league organization, whatever. I'm not shaking that guy's confidence right now. Like I'm like, bro, keep dominating Double A for a little bit. I'm not so much sold like that he has to go to Triple A first, because I think that the purpose of Double A is very different from the purpose of Triple A. I don't think it's always like an upward angle from
A trajectory?
low. Yeah, I don't think that's always the case. Double A is usually the young guys that you feel like are on the cusp that are ready. Whereas Triple A are guys that can conceivably bounce up and down. Usually most Triple A guys, not most, but a lot of Triple A guys are on the 40 man. It's just a matter of rotate. Someone gets hurt, okay, Triple A next guy up. Double A is a guy like you're still playing competitive ball. Everyone's kind of around the same age, still young guys trying to, developing into big league guys. But a lot of those guys are on the cusp. Like, you see a lot of big leaguers, like some of them don't go to Triple A first. So
But my thing is more because of the doctored ball, because they're experimenting with. I think that ball might be helping him look better than he actually is. I wouldn't mind seeing him get a couple starts in AAA before he moves up, because the last thing I want to do is, like you said, shake his confidence. He's not going to have that ball to play with in the major leagues. What if he comes up here and then they just rake on him? Like that could shake him quickly. So I just want to see him perform at a high level, even if it's in AAA with players that can go up and down, that spend time in the major leagues and in AAA. Like that's just what I would like to see. But again, I mean, I'm not 100% against it, but a little part of me is hesitant because of the fact that they're playing with that ball. Brian, what do you think?
So with Yuri, I don't think he's ready. This is his first opportunity playing AA ball to actually pitch in a 5-man rotation. If you look at what he did in Advanced A last year, he wasn't pitching in a 5-man rotation. They were using, I think, a 6-man rotation. So, he's had a couple of starts in AA to get used to that rotation. I think he needs another year in AA. Maybe he can be a September call up, sure. But when you've got like promising arms like Max Meyer, who's, hopefully going to be back probably around the All-Star break, hopefully. And you've got other players who can make the jump. Like I don't think he needs to go to AAA to go to the major league roster, because we've seen players make that transition from AA to the major leagues, no problem. But I just don't know that he has the experience working every 5 days, going long. Like he's having success. Like, and we're doing all right. Like, let's just keep him where he is right now. Like, if we get to a point where, maybe Trevor Rogers gets hurt again, maybe we lose Braxton Garrett or somebody else, then yeah, let's bring him up. But I think it's too soon to talk about calling him up, especially when you see that Johnny Cueto's already started his rehab assignments in AAA. Like, I don't want Cueto to pitch for us, and I'll say it multiple times. But
I'd rather have Yuri, yeah, for sure.
Well, but see, this is the thing. I would rather Cueto take up a couple of starts this year and give Yuri some time and maybe bring him up in September and say, hey, going into next year, you're on the big league club. You've made good stuff. The kid's 20, like making that jump to the major leagues. And if he comes up and gets hammered, that's going to ruin his confidence. Like, you have to be careful with a 20-year-old pitcher. And while I think he can do it in the big leagues, I don't know that bringing him up right now is the solution for him or for the Marlins.
I think there's someone else ready to jump up.
I do too, and you can spoil it. I know. I agree with you.
Patrick Monteverde is a guy that I think when we DFA'd Smeltzer, I thought what made the most sense was to bring up another lefty. And Monteverde, just to kind of read off his stats so far, he's 3-0 in AA in Pensacola, a 0.35 ERA. He started 4 games, 26 innings pitched, 38 strikeouts, and his whip is 0.54. The dude is shoving. He's 25. He's pitched some good baseball in his career. He's on that cusp. He's a lefty. He has an arsenal of pitches. He has like 5. I think that's a guy that, like, bro, I bring that guy up and give him a shot, man. We have so many righties on the staff. Like, let's bring up a couple lefties, bro. Like,
at his age, it's time to see what he can do.
Yeah, and
give up on Quesada already.
That guy's a bum. I never want to see that guy. I never want to see that guy wearing Marlins uniform again.
Why is he in Jupiter and not in Jacksonville then?
Who?
The homie that you said.
No, he's in Pensacola.
Oh, he is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's in AA. He's man, dude shoves. I mean, I've watched, thankfully, with the with the Valley Sports app and stuff. I can watch highlights of the minor league games, and bro, dude has it. Like, I'm telling you that dude can throw. I think he can come and be a serviceable guy at the pen. I legitimately think. I think he can kind of take on like that Braxton Garrett role that we've seen. Like, when Braxton has gone his call-ups in the last year and the year before, he was getting straight into the pen. Braxton Garrett started this year in the pen and eventually worked his way into the rotation. And you can argue that Garrett's been our best pitcher this year until he gave up
Well,
You
yeah, I
know.
wanted to get into Braxton actually a second. What did you think about that outing yesterday? He gave up, was it 11 runs?
He gave up 11 runs, 4 bombs. Almost all of them were near Spaz and I.
Callie would be talking. Callie and I would be talking. It's just, oh, here comes another one.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes another.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, it made for like a fun game to watch. Like you love high because at the end of the day, we scored 7 runs. Like, and we had like 14 hits or something like that. Like it's not like most times you're like, okay, I can live with that. But it was unfortunately, everyone has those games. The best in the world have those games. I'm not, and it's the fucking Braves, bro. Like the Braves are just gonna hit against fucking everybody. So. But yeah, we were home run magnets yesterday. It was actually impressive. If they followed us.
I do love Braxton though. I think he's gonna be fine, and I do like him quite a bit. And all things considered, man, I mean, it was just a bad game overall. We were just getting crushed. So I don't know. I like him. Hope he continues to do what he's doing.
Well, moving into the weekend, it's sounding like Wendell's on his way back. Spaz, if Wendell comes up, somebody's got to go. Who's got to go? And I'm not talking about sending Xavier Edwards back down. I'm talking about who's losing their at bats. Who's losing their spot in the infield?
Dude, I don't think they put him back into the starting lineup. I think Homie's gonna ride the pine for a little bit. Well, didn't he have like 4 strikeouts and like his first rehab start back, or like one of his rehab starts back? And I don't think he's done really well.
But he's getting paid $6 million a year, kind of like what you said about Avi Garcia. He's getting paid, so he's playing. Wendell's getting paid. He's playing.
I don't know. I think it's a different thing than Avi. Maybe first game back, somebody sits down, but I just don't think Callie's been the one about it. He's like, I don't see how Wendell gets a spot back. And he's been the one that's saying it, and I have to agree with him. I don't know how he does.
Yeah,
well, I will say he had a horrible spring training. He was 5 for 48 in spring training. Yeah. 5 for 48. So he hasn't had a good start to the year.
I love him because I fucking no batting gloves. It's fucking awesome. So I love the guy, but if he's not going to produce and he hasn't been doing well, listen, man, get on the bench. I'm sorry.
I think we're going to see Wendell, at least at first, kind of come into that what Garrett Hampson was, which was like Hampson this year was like when everyone was healthy was kind of like the new Birdie in the sense that, he was just like a plug and play guy, like whoever's day off it was, that's kind of where you went. I think initially because who do you sit? You don't sit Birdie. You don't sit Hampson. Hampson's hitting like damn near 280 right now. Yeah. Segura, he's floating around 200, but Segura's at bats have got a lot better. He's had a lot better. He's been hitting the ball hard. He's getting on base again. He smoked a double that I thought was leaving the yard yesterday. You got
to hear what Brant has to say about that.
He had good at bats. That we can rip Segura all we want, but dude, he's had a lot better at bats lately. And what I'll give Segura is that he's hitting the ball hard. He's hitting into outs, and unfortunately, it's part of the game. Even Segura himself admitted that he's in the worst slump of his career. But like, I guess for the sake of answering the question, I guess Segura, but Segura's getting paid a lot of money too, bro. Like, if we're gonna play the money game, like it's not him. If they're gonna keep money on the field, it's not gonna be Segura that sits. It's gonna have to be Birdie or Hampson. So maybe Hampson's the one that sits. But dude, Hampson's playing ball right now, man. Hampson's
unfortunate.
Hampson's our best infielder, not named Arise right now, hitting wise.
Right. Brighton, what is our infield looking like once Wendell comes back?
So I agree. I think Wendell probably comes back on the bench. I think as much as I would love to say bench Segura, move move Birdie over to third and give a spot to Hampson at short. I just don't know that. I don't know that the Marlins are ready for that. I think Segura is getting paid a lot, and he's probably one of the few guys outside of like Soler and Jesus Sanchez who looked good in the Braves series. And so for me, that's encouraging, and I would give him a little bit longer of a leash because I've been the one who said bench Segura, but I think you gotta make Wendell earn his spot, and maybe you give him, like Spaz said, let him play the first game he comes back and see what happens. And if he goes 4 for 4 and brings in some runs, then yeah, let him keep playing. But he's got to earn his way back in because Birdie, Hampson, Segura, those guys are all ahead of him, and he didn't have a good spring. He hasn't had a good rehab stint right now, so he's got to earn his spot.
One thing that I think we can conceivably see too, if Coop is out for much longer, is maybe he gets a shot at first. Or they give him a DH start or something like that. But yeah, I don't know if we're talking strictly the infield that's not a first baseman. I don't know who you bench for him if everyone's ready to go. If someone needs a day off, then you plug them into whoever needs a day off. But presumably,
Yeah.
I don't see who you're sitting for him right now.
Well, I think the other interesting thing is like Skip was putting Hampson like out in the outfield and stuff a little bit.
Could be
Had him in right
Cisco.
field for the first time. So maybe that's like part of his thing is I'll use Hampstead in the outfield and use Wendell kind of between somewhere in the midfield to give people breaks. So we'll see.
Midfield.
Sorry. Infield.
Wrong podcast, my guy.
All right. So upcoming series, we got the Cubs and the Diamondbacks both on the road. I guess it's prediction time. So let me throw it over to who should I throw it? Spazzy. Let's go with you first.
What is
Spazzy,
it? Three,
how are we feeling?
3-3?
3-3.
No. We're playing 3 against the Cubs and 3 against
The Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
On the road.
All right. I don't like that all of our wins against the Cubs were 1-run wins. And we're on the road at a very famous ballpark. I say we go 2-3 there. And then Diamondbacks also 2-3. So we come back 4-6. And that's my prediction.
4-2.
4-2. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 4-2.
Caddy, what you thinking?
Well,
before I keep going, has anybody ever been to Wrigley?
No,
I was outside it.
that's a bucket list for me.
Yeah, it's
That
definitely
was
Yeah.
still
The
a bucket
Cubs.
list.
The last time I was in Chicago, the Cubs were playing away.
yeah.
So I got to
Oh.
go outside it and I got to do the tour. It was pretty nice.
Caddy, what you thinking about the series?
All right, so tomorrow we have for fun fact in typical Cubs fashion, they'll play day games as often as they can. So all our games are 2:20 start times. Fun fact. All right, we got Cabrera against Steele on the bump. Steele had a very good outing against us. Cabrera had, but we still won the game. In game 1, game 2, we have Honig, who threw pretty well in his own right against the Cubbies, against World Series champion Drew Smiley, who's 3-1. And then Sunday we got Sandy on the bump against Weneski. I think Saturday we see a flash of old Sandy give us a W. I think we split Friday and Saturday. I think we lose tomorrow. We win Saturday. And then D-backs, I like our chances. We don't know what end of the rotation, but whenever Gallen pitches, I don't love our chances. I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna say 4-2. I'm gonna say.
All right.
Wrong answer.
4-2. No, 4-2. I could ride with that because we weren't necessarily dominant over the Cubs. I'm sure the Cubs are looking at this series and they're thinking we could probably sweep them.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
So
But they're not hitting right now, so we'll see.
Brian, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking we win Friday against the Cubs. We probably lose Saturday, win Sunday. And then I say we sweep the Diamondbacks.
Woo!
I think we've probably got between Braxton, Luzardo going.
We're not playing against Bum anymore, right?
Yeah, but I don't think Bum matters. I think we'll still beat them. I think we sweep the Diamondbacks. We finish out our second sweep of the season. I think Sandy comes back strong on Sunday, and we're sitting here next Thursday on our off day talking about how we're over 500 and we're looking good and we're in second place.
I like the confidence, brother. I love it.
I do also. I don't see a sweep against Chicago. I think that Cabrera could take a win on Friday. I think Hoeing gets raked on Saturday. And I think Sunday, Sandy finally plays against a below average hitting team, and this is his time to finally get right. So I think Sandy finally takes that. And I also think we can take 2 out of 3 from the Diamondbacks. So I'd also go 4-2, like Spaz and Callie said. And I mean, it would be great to get a road sweep, but those are difficult to come by. So I'm confident saying 4-2, and we go into the next episode with a 20-18 record. It's not bad for almost mid-May. So we're looking good.
Yeah.
Like we said, what's the goal? 86 wins. We get to 86, and we have a chance at the wild card. And once you get in the dance, anything can happen.
That's right.
We just got to win series.
Just
Take
get to
2
the
out
door,
of the
baby.
3. That's all we got to do.
Best playoff winning percentage in MLB history. So
That's right.
that says enough. All right. So I turn the show over to you, Spaz. We got it's trivia time.
Me.
So you
Pretty
let me know.
thing.
You let me know what you want me to put up. You want me to put up number 1?
All right. So the theme of trivia this week is historic baseball pictures. If you guys are on Twitter and you follow, I think it's called at baseball history or at baseball picks. It's one of my favorite accounts just because it goes back to like 1920s and it does everything. So I'm a huge fan of historic baseball pictures. This is gonna be different. It's gonna be 2 just overall baseball pictures and then 2 Marlins related pictures. And we can go with number 1, 1976.
What am I guessing?
What's that?
What this picture is?
Yeah.
What team he played for?
All right. So this man played for the Pittsburgh Pirates, an absolute baller. And he made this shirt. If you hear any noise, it's just me and the boys bopping, which is actually a Parliament song that they used to listen to in a black Cadillac with turquoise interior on the way to the clubs after playing baseball games. I wish baseball was still like that. And they used to party. So who is this dude? If you hear any noise, it's just me and the boys bopping.
Dave Parker.
Fucking A, Callie. He's got it.
Come on, son. I have the scoreboard, by the way.
This is one of my favorite baseball pictures ever.
That's a good one.
We need to get that shirt remade.
Yeah, we do. That's also the We Are Family Pirates. Those teams were fucking stacked.
So one of my, just a quick thing. One of my other favorite pictures is in spring training. They're in Bradenton, Florida. Him and all the boys are smoking cigarettes in the dugout. Bring that shit back. Bring that shit back. All right, picture number 2.
Oh, hell yeah.
We have.
I already know the answer.
No. Hold on. So we have an older pitcher, a younger batter.
I mean, I know who the pitcher is.
Storms them. Yeah, I mean,
I know who the hitter is.
Oh, well, hold on. So, younger batter storms the mound. Older pitcher gets him in a headlock and is just wailing on him. Who is the younger batter?
Robin Ventura. I'll give you another one. He played at Oregon State. I'll give you another one. He had the most hits ever in college baseball for a long time until it was broken by Florida International University Panther, Garrett Whittles.
Jesus Christ, he's really.
I was going to say, wasn't Robin Ventura? Didn't he play for?
You're thinking about Jesse Ventura, the wrestler.
Yeah, the one that was eventually governor of Minnesota.
No, I was thinking that did Robin Ventura didn't play for FIU?
No,
dude,
Who played for FIU?
Okay, so
like from the bigs, like now we have Logan Allen, we have an Edwin Rio.
Didn't Mike Lowe play for FIU?
No,
he played for UM, didn't he?
No, Mike Lowe
was a UM guy.
He played for Miami Lakes Automobile.
He went to Gables. I think he was a draft. I don't think Lowell went to FIU. I think he went to Dade. Maybe.
Oh, maybe he went to Dade.
Fun fact: Mike Piazza went to Miami-Dade.
Mets legend, Marlins legend,
5-game Marlin legend, Mike Piazza.
Hey, we're in the Hall of Fame. Our name is in the Hall of Fame with Mike Piazza's plaque there. All right, question number 3. Everyone knows Steve Bartman. We just played the Cubs. Everyone knows Steve Bartman. We got screwed in right field. I don't know if you guys saw it. Somebody had a Steve Bartman moment on the right field in this past game. Who was the player on the field for the opposing team who Steve Bartman screwed over?
Moises
Moises
Alou.
Alou.
Moises Alou.
I'll give that one to Danny.
What the fuck? I said it
One
first.
to Danny. Danny had that one.
First
We
of
need
all,
buzzers.
I was like giving him a chance to finish the question.
Yeah,
Callie.
no. Callie's like all over this shit. Come on. All right, Danny, that's a point for you. All right, we're going to go to question number 4.
Fuck that guy.
Jeffrey Luria.
Es come mierda. All right. So he's doing a little signal, which is like a sideways peace sign over his eyes, which 2 Marlins baseball players in around 2012 made it like a little celebration. Give me one of those Marlins players. I'm not even going to say the name of the celebration, but it's a sideways peace sign over your eye after you get a base hit or whatever it is.
Lo viste. Hanley Ramirez was one.
And Bonifacio?
Get in, yeah.
Yeah.
So do we each get a point?
No, so it wasn't even Hanley. It was Jose Reyes and Emilio Bonifacio.
Yeah, it wasn't Hanley.
Yeah, it wasn't Hanley at all. It was Jose Reyes.
I remember Bonifacio doing that.
It was so Brandon.
I know it's called Lo viste. That's what they called it.
Yeah, Lo viste. Yeah. So it is Lo viste, but it wasn't Hanley. It was Bonifacio and Jose Reyes.
Oh, I thought Lobo was in the mix too for that one. Logan Morrison.
So all right, Brian gets a point, Danny gets a point, and Callie gets 2 points.
Yeah.
So that's trivia.
The scoreboard: Danny has 3, Brandon has 2, Spazzy has 3, and yours truly has 5. So
Mike Lowe played for FIU.
He did play for FIU, didn't he? Okay, cool. I know he went to Coral Gables.
Yeah,
Gables legend.
so-
Raul Labanez played at Sunset.
Who?
Well, Raul
You know who
Ibanez,
Raul
yeah.
Labanez is?
Just kidding.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was it for trivia. Now it's time to announce the winner of the giveaway.
There you go.
So now I was doing this on the fly as we were recording because I completely forgot, honestly, to set it up beforehand. So let me see if I get this right on the first try. So here we go.
There are the tickets.
Here we go. There we go.
Oh, nice. He did what I did.
All right.
All right. So those are the names of the people that were included. Now, I will put it out there that Fish Stripes did retweet, and we appreciate you. But you're at the games all the time anyway. We want to get maybe some new faces out there. So I didn't include Fish Stripes on here.
An added bonus, whoever wins gets to sit with me in the jazz band section because everybody else bailed on me.
I might be able to go. If it depends if I can get out of going to graduation somehow.
So here we go.
All right.
All right.
Spin it.
So I'm going to click and it should spin and let's see who wins. And your winner is Romeo Rodriguez.
Romeo! I actually saw him yesterday.
Romeo, we got a winner.
All right.
Congrats. Oh, I was going to take a picture. Boo.
No, is it still not up there?
No, you took it out.
You monster.
Oh.
All right, well, Romeo, you're going to
Romeo, 2 free tickets to the jazz band. That includes a t-shirt. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you for participating. And we'll have more giveaways here and there. So I was hoping to keep this tight in under an hour. We went slightly over an hour, but a lot to get to, a lot of fun trivia, and we had the giveaway. Anything else for the people, Callie, Brian, or Spaz, before we sign off?
I mean, a positive to take away from the Braves series is that we actually, aside from the first game, we swung the bat pretty well. Even today, Solar had a big game. It always seems someone finds their bat every game. So keep the faith. I think we'll turn it around offensively. So.
You know what? That's a great point about Solar too, because as I was watching the game in the first inning, the announcer said he hasn't hit a home run since April 17th, and I thought to myself, "Well, this is the time to hit one," because it's like when they say he has, the announcer's curse. You've never missed a free throw, you're gonna miss the next one. You haven't hit a home run this long, and you're the opposing team. You're like, "Oh fuck, he just jinxed us. Now he's gonna hit a home run." So I just felt it, and he hit the home run right after, went right over Brenton's head. What else you got for Brenton? I know you had the awesome day today with your son.
Yeah, I love it. Whoever Well, obviously we did the giveaway, so you'll be at Ethan's second baseball game ever. So congratulations to that. We'll do more giveaways in the future. And the one thing I'll say and leave you guys with is when you can, if you're not signed up to MLB Alert, sign up for them because they're doing a lot of like free minor league games that you can watch. And last night's Yuri start was on there, so we got to watch Yuri for free. So check it out. Start to get to know some of the prospects coming up because if these injury problems keep coming up, we're going to start seeing more of these guys. And so
For sure.
check them out, give them some love, and check out the merch. I mean, come on. How sexy are these hats? Look at this guy right here.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, man. Those are, both of those has a really nice. Spaz, what you got as we sign out?
No, I mean, if you guys see us around the ballpark, we're going to be going to the ballpark a whole lot more, especially as the summer kicks in. We got some giveaways coming up as well. But if you see us around the ballpark, say hello. I have a few vintage things that I'm going to go ahead and raffle off in the next few podcasts.
Ooh.
I haven't even shared it with my co-hosts yet, but I will later on. Let them
Can
know.
I enter?
Nice.
But yeah,
I will be giving away nothing.
you remember the podcast. But yeah, follow us, listen, and say hi.
For sure. And if you're listening all the way to the end, we appreciate you sticking around an hour and 11 minutes in. We appreciate you. Hit us a like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. It's weird saying it, but they tell me to say it. So thank you for all that. Thank you for your time. And let's hope that we can get that 4-2 minimum coming into next week. Let's keep strong, second in the division, get that wild card spot, and just keep going. Until then, enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.